Hi peeps! If you are new to my channel, I am Ducky, also known as Ducky Craft, the channel you're on, and don't tread on me, I am a duck on TikTok. On TikTok I talk mostly about health and type 1 diabetes and being a caregiver of 2 elderly parents and the joys there is in that. Whereas here, I tend to do more Am I the Asshole content, and I swore within 30 seconds of the video, so I will probably get restricted. YouTube, the 90s called. They'd like their censorship goblins back. I just cannot put enough Valley Girl into that. I just can't. And occasionally I do some MLM content. That's about once a month. So if that's not really your thing, that's not as often as AITA content. And today, actually, I'm doing something even different. It's called r/wedding shaming, and it popped up as a suggested, and it's friendship ruined over cheap wedding gift. Before I get into it, please like, subscribe, comment, do all of the YouTubey things that will help me get into the algorithm at least a little bit better. I tried sacrificing to the algorithm gods, but it didn't work, apparently. I did try, though. I'm kidding. Like, I sacrificed, like, candy bars to them. Come on, guys. I'm not that demented. Usually. We had to pause this entertaining stream of commentary to let the cat out. Poor thing. He's hungry. He's far from starving. Although, to let him tell it. So, since I've completely lost my train of thought, we'll just get right into it. This happened a few years back. My best friend at the time, 25 female, was getting married. It was sort of a destination wedding. Oh gosh. I did an AITA not too long ago on this. As it was 2 states over and about a 7-hour drive there. I was excited to attend, but had to purchase a new suit, transportation, and pay for a hotel. 3 nights. This was also the same exact month I had to pay $1,900 out of pocket for dental work. Oh boy, have I been there. As you can tell, money was tight for me during this time period. The first thing that happened with my friend was her sending me a rude text about not staying at the right hotel? What? I had no idea, but on her wedding site, she had a recommended hotel for everyone, except her and her groom, to stay at. I didn't see this and booked a different hotel less than 5 minutes away, as it was more affordable. She was not happy about this, but I didn't understand why I had to be at this specific one. Well, I agree. If you're not at the same hotel as the bride and groom, that doesn't make sense. Because money was tight and having already spent hundreds of dollars to attend this wedding, I only gave $80 to their honeymoon fund as a gift. $80 is a lot of money. Of course, my dream honeymoon is, on an Amtrak train up the coast. What? It's a thing. Apparently not that expensive. Looking back, I admit I could have splurged for more, but I don't drink, was without a date, and I figured that everything I did to attend this wedding would be enough for her. Well, apparently not. About a year later, I mentioned to her I was invited to another person's wedding. Her first response was, well, don't be cheap and give them only $80. Ooh, bitter much? This message made my heart drop. Not only did it make me feel like a horrible person, I was also angry that she remembered my exact donation amount over a year later. Right? I wouldn't remember that. I do not have that much processing power. I will give her credit. She has more processing power than I clearly do. From that point on, I lost a ton of respect for her, and our relationship was never the same. I just can't believe that her entire memory of me at her wedding was being cheap instead of traveling 2 states over for multiple days to be there for her biggest day of her life. How could someone focus only on that? I mean, yeah, really. And the first, who posted this, was Mother Associate and a bunch of numbers. Posted that. And then the first comment states, honestly, if you'd done all that for my wedding, I wouldn't expect a penny as a gift. Same. And I'm at a point now where most of my friends are like career people. But I also don't want a big wedding because big weddings are stupid. What? They are. And then there's a response to that from Yellow Cupcake. Love that she got that name. Exactly this. I'm currently planning our wedding. Congrats. And it will mean that half of the guests need to travel. We're from different countries. We have explicitly stated that we do not expect any gifts at all. Love that. Having all of our closest friends and family in one place to celebrate our special day is the biggest and best gift we could ever imagine. And then sword taster responds to that with 100%. My husband and I will be having international family come from my side for our proper wedding when we get around to that, right? And I don't want to stress my brothers out by suggesting they bring gifts of any sort. Any friends of his will likely be traveling from states away too, as he's a military vet. Oh, wow. And he's got friends from all over. If you have to travel, spend the money on snacks for the journey, not us. Casey, and I'm in a unique spot because I have something called idiopathic intracranial hypertension. I cannot fly. Well, I mean, I can. Technically, I can. My head might explode, but I can. It's not that bad. But I'd have to drive. And if you're 2 states away, honestly, I'm like 3 hours away from the nearest state border. There's that. But 2 states away, I have to cross a full state, right? So that's going to be 16 to 20 hours driving. It's going to take me 3 days just to get there. So I got 3 days just to get there. Gas money. I've got to have a hotel because I got to have somewhere to sleep in the meantime. Although I have slept in my car before and it is not beneath me. I just really prefer hotels because the bathrooms are usually a little bit nicer. Yeah, I'll go there. So yeah, I would be really frustrated if I were traveling to a friend's wedding and I gave them a small gift. Now, mind you, most of my gifts are handmade. There's a horror story on my end that I won't go completely into, but I did give somebody a handmade quilt, and it was a big quilt. It was like a queen-size quilt, which is no easy task. And their response was, I haven't made anything like that for someone since. I mean, my mom gave a gift too, which was a handmade gift, and it was a full dish set. I say, well, gifts. It was a full dish set, and their response was, you didn't make this. You bought this somewhere. My mom's like, well, I mean, I bought the supplies to make it. And that's kind of where I was at. I was like, I bought the supplies to make it. The complaint with me was that the quilt didn't go with their decor. Was it supposed to? It didn't know I was matching your decor. And my mom and I have since, we've really not given handmade gifts since then because we were pretty hurt by that. So, yeah, I mean, if I have to drive all the way there, 3 days there, I've had to stay in a hotel room, I've had to pay for gas, I've had to pay for food, and 3 days back, yeah, I'm not going to be real thrilled if the only thing they remembered is that I gave them a cheap gift. $80 to the honeymoon? $80 is $80. Let's be real here. So let me see if I can find another one, and we'll just go with wedding theme for this one, because why not? Oh my god, I just got a text about the color of this wig, and I totally need a gray witch's hat. I must complete the swamp witch look. Okay, so I'm in r/wedding drama. This is new for me. And we got my maid of honor pulled out the day before my wedding. Oh, yikes. All right, so we're going to kind of throw this into an AITA because I have a feeling there's some drama here. I have not read anything beyond the title. I said that sounds interesting, and I tapped on it. I have scrolled to see how long it is, and it's a doozy. So if you're beginning to tune me out at this point, now would be a great time to go ahead and move on. I have no idea how long this is going to take me to read. No idea. So here we go. All right, just found this subreddit and thought my post from yesterday in Wedding Planning Sub was a perfect fit. I got married a few days ago, and it was unquestionably the best day of my life. I have zero regrets about how it played out. But I'm not sure how to proceed from here with my friend. Sorry in advance for the long post. This is very cathartic to write out. Which it can be, absolutely. And I am here to hear the therapy talk. Several years ago, Dan introduced our friend group to a new girlfriend. I don't know who Dan is. We all went above and beyond to make her feel welcome and included. I did not want to be that cringe female best friend who was possessive over another girl's best friend. Over another girl's boyfriend, maybe? BF is hard. Specify, guys. I swapped Dan in my DMs for a group chat with both of our partners, invited her along to every hangout or activity. Okay, I'm guessing boyfriend. The problem is, his girlfriend is awful. She's extremely immature, manipulative, selfish, mentally unstable, and kind of a loser. No job, no school, can't do anything on her own, etc. She is also one of those people who is incapable of not being the center of attention. If someone else is the focus, her way of making herself the center of attention is that she mopes and cries and acts small and hurt and weepy so that everyone is asking, what's wrong with the girlfriend? And worrying about her instead. I've seen her do it countless times. Okay, quick recap. So, the bride is talking about the male best friend. Okay, so BF is boyfriend. So she doesn't want to be like, It's not my boyfriend. I'm dating somebody else. I'm not trying to be possessive of him. He's just my best friend. You can be female and you can have male best friends. And I get really tired of people that are like, no, you're clearly sleeping together. Oh, okay. You do you, boo. But some of us don't swing that way. Have fun. Over the years, her bad behavior has alienated him from his family, and from every single member of our friend group. Friends Dan has known for 15 plus years. My husband and I were, prior to this weekend, the last holdouts. Now every single person in his life actively hates her. Uh-oh. In the lead up to the wedding, we let Dan and his girlfriend stay at our house to save money on a hotel. Dan didn't do any of the normal maid of honor stuff. Man of honor. I'm so sorry. It's MOH, so I'm figuring it out as I go, y'all. No shower, no bachelorette, no help planning, but he did come up for a week before the wedding to help out. But then he proceeded to spend 3 to 4 hours every single evening on the phone, comforting her while she hysterically cried and came out of the calls depressed and exhausted. When she joined him here, it was the same, except now the outbursts were happening in my spare room. Great. The mood around the house was awful. Not joyful as it should have been. When she left the spare room, she moped around the house, looking miserable, barely responding when my husband and I tried interacting with her. We tiptoed around her, asking if there was anything we could get or do for her, trying to be kind and welcoming hosts. She sent me on an errand, big quotes there, the day of an important pre-wedding event, and I happily did it. Because I wanted her to be in a good mood so she wouldn't be disruptive. Honestly, why even invite her? Although, that sounds mean. Because, male best friend and all. Because our wedding officiant was not ordained, we held a small legal ceremony in our backyard with a government officiant 2 days before the wedding. Okay, that's not uncommon. It was supposed to be a special moment with our parents. Dan and girlfriend were staying at ours, so we invited them as well. Okay, so very intimate gathering before the actual big wedding. That's fine. My husband was noticeably late to the legal ceremony because Dan's girlfriend was having a strop and shut herself in the spare room crying and moping. Husband noticed on his way downstairs and got stuck checking on her and comforting her. Great. I hated that he felt like he had to take care of her in what was his special moment. I felt awkward and embarrassed standing there alone for minutes on end, making a left at the altar joke to lighten the mood. Ooh, I could see me being that way. Like, oh, yeah, no, he clearly left me at the altar. He damn well better be here in 5 minutes or I swear to God. Just saying. Boyfriend, warning you now. When she came down, she moped and winced and made little comments to the point where all our parents and even the officiant commented on it. Seeing her miserable, annoyed face in that tiny crowd of 6 pissed me off so much. After the legal ceremony, she didn't let Dan be in the group photo. Oh my God! And she immediately went upstairs and shut herself in the spare room again, pulling Dan with her. We were all supposed to be celebrating, enjoying a beautiful moment, and he was robbed of that moment with his closest friends because she was yet again having a tantrum. The whole house was on tenterhooks? Okay, eggshells. I think that the whole house was on basically eggshells. I kept thinking about the distracting stunts she would undoubtedly pull at the rehearsal dinner, the getting ready, the wedding. I started cooking dinner for the group, getting madder and madder, and eventually I marched upstairs. I'm normally a very non-confrontational person, but I just felt possessed. You had your bridezilla moment, darling. You were entirely allowed to have it. I knocked on the door, opened it, and started shouting at her. I told her that I would not tiptoe around her moods on my wedding weekend, that I was tired of her moping around my house so visibly that it made her the center of attention and ruined the mood, that she was ruining this friendship experience for Dan, and that if she didn't smarten up, I wanted her out of my frickin' house. I'll admit, I was pretty harsh. But everyone who heard it go down, Dan included, told me afterwards that while I could, and maybe should have been more diplomatic, everything I said was correct and needed to be said. You were finally saying the quiet parts out loud. I felt incredibly guilty afterwards. Apologized to both of them for being so harsh and spent the entire evening alternating between trying to act normal for our parents, privately crying, and apologizing to Dan for putting him in this position. It pretty much ruined the whole day for me. Thankfully, she left. Dan promised that he would still be there for the wedding and said that while he didn't appreciate how I handled the situation, I was right about her behavior and that he wasn't mad at me. I have a feeling he took off. The next morning, husband and I wake up and the spare room is empty. I hadn't even read ahead. Dan is downstairs, car packed, He tells us in this cold, clinical voice that he can't be there for the wedding. Uh-oh. He has to drive girlfriend back to her parents' house. It's logistically impossible. I start sobbing. I just felt like there were 1,000 solutions. Get a hotel room for the two of you. Put her on a train or a bus. Drive there and miss the rehearsal, then drive back the morning of the wedding. And his first instinct was to just give up. He spends every day solving problems for this horrible, abusive girl, but couldn't, in this very important moment, come up with a solution for his two best friends. Seeing us sad, he does find a solution. He says he'll be there and leaves to run an errand. While he's gone, my husband and I start to feel more upset and hurt. We realize that Dan hasn't been acting very happy for us for months now. To me, privately, he has constantly been pointing out husband's flaws. During hard times with my partner, mostly husband was not involved in the wedding planning. Instead of being supportive like other close friends, he's egged on the negative aspects and told me my husband will never improve. He told me that he doesn't know if my husband would be a good partner or father. Does Dan want to secretly be with you? Just wondering. We don't think it's a he's in love with me thing. Oh, okay, she already answered my question. We think it's a misery loves company thing. Okay, that's fair. Misery loves company thing. My husband has risen above it, but now can't be nice and noble about it any longer. When Dan gets back, my husband, even more non-confrontational than me, lets him have it. Uh-oh. Afterwards, I come out and, crying but trying to be as clear and calm as possible, explain why his girlfriend's behavior bothered me and why his behavior has hurt me. Dan breaks down, sobbing and shaking. I've never seen him this sad in his life. He just keeps apologizing to both of us. He says he can't be in the wedding. I'm so shocked that I switch into comforting mode, as does my husband. He says that he has ruined his entire life because of this girl, and we agree. We tell him that we know he loves her, but she's abusive. He sobs for an hour, and we're 30 minutes late to our rehearsal dinner because we're comforting him. I asked another close friend to step in as man of honor or maid of honor. It just says MOH. Acronyms. Acronyms are killing me, bro. The rehearsal dinner was amazing, and the wedding day was wonderful. We put the drama out of our minds, and everything was better for not having their rude, moping attitudes around. We only had people there who were genuinely thrilled for us. But now I have no idea how I'm supposed to proceed. What do you do? I have a hard time being mad at him because I truly feel he's a victim of abuse. He's got like a Stockholm thing going on. I don't want her to win, succeeding in alienating him from his last friends, but I also can't go back to normal, acting like he didn't deeply hurt me and my husband. Like everything is okay. You know what? We're going to read the first couple of comments from Beneficial Syrup. Love that username. I would tell him what missing your wedding meant to both of you and how you'll need space from the friendship from right now. You can't fix or help. He knows the relationship is more toxic than Chernobyl, but continues it is. Sorry, the Chernobyl got me. I'm the color of Chernobyl! Oh my goodness. He has to want to help himself, and right now he doesn't. From a therapy standpoint, yes. You cannot force somebody to change. You have to get them to, or they have to get themselves to a point where they want to change. You can't force change upon them. It's hard to let go of a deep friendship, but when somebody shows you how important you are to them, not showing up for your wedding as the man of honor, you need to accept it and move on with your life. You care about him way more than he cares for you. Let him go. It's his life to ruin. And unfortunately, that's very true. It is his life to ruin. Then Appropriate Egg responds, I agree with this. My brother is in a similar situation, and my mother's coddling and enduring of his girlfriend's erratic behavior has given him a way to cope with dealing with her. It's a bit of a different situation, but without that relationship, Mom literally just updated his car insurance, which she pays for because they live in his girlfriend's grandmother's basement, and he still has to pay $600 a month rent, and his girlfriend can't even boil water. Oh, God. So he spends hella money on food. I have actually burnt boiling eggs. There's a story there. I feel he would be unable to continue as he has been. She's already been banned from visiting my mom's house by the mom's husband, and they have a fragile relationship with my dad due to her behavior. Long story short, I believe that if he truly has no one else in his life but her, he may truly realize the extent of his situation. Edit for clarification of her. I was like, had to process that. So yeah, this person asks a question I was thinking, and then they respond. So we'll do this, and then we'll move on. Wait, because his girlfriend doesn't know how to cook, your brother is forced to get expensive takeout? Seems like your brother doesn't cook either, but you're blaming the woman? This is by Joy Jones. Love that username. Joy Jones the third, in fact. And then Appropriate Egg responds back, sorry, I definitely did not portray this correctly. He is a slightly better cook than she is. But the bigger issue is that she doesn't like home-cooked meals? What? Even when they went to visit my mom, she stayed in the bedroom while they sat at the table to eat dinner because she wasn't hungry. She then called my brother mid-meal from the bedroom to tell him she wanted Taco Bell and he needed to take her. She also can't keep a job more than a few weeks, so she's very often just sitting at home doing nothing, while my brother works 5 to 6 days a week as a mechanic. I apologize for making it seem like just because she won't cook, they have to eat takeout. There's a bit more to it. Okay, I gotta tell my story about burning boiling eggs. So ADHD here. I can put something on the stove to cook, and if I don't set an alarm, which has happened more than once, I forgot to set an alarm. If I walk off without setting an alarm, I will forget it's on the stove. Oops. So, have actually had it happen where I walked off and I heard the fire alarm going off, and I'm like, wait, how long has it been? Why is the fire alarm going off? It had been like an hour, and the eggs had cooked so long in no water on high heat that they exploded. So, if you're still with me, like, subscribe, comment down below exploding green eggs and ham, because why not? Oh gosh, that was... My dad came home and was like, well, at least you didn't burn down the kitchen. And then about 10 years later, he tried to burn down the kitchen, proving to me that ADHD and OCD are definitely genetic. So, if you're still with me, thank you for hanging out. That was, that poor bride. That poor bride. That really sucks. That's one of those, that's some drama. And if you like the wedding drama stuff, definitely comment, let me know. I do post once a week, and thanks for hanging out. I will see you all later.